I get a lot of questions from cat owners as to whether they should feed a dry or a wet food. There's a couple things to consider here. The first is that most veterinarians would probably recommend a mix of dry and wet food. There are benefits to each. I think the dry food does a good job at scraping the teeth a bit, prevents a bit of dental disease that can happen in that pet later in life. The wet food has a lot of moisture in it, and that's really important for cats because cats later in life are prone to kidney disease, and more water down the pipe is healthy for their kidneys. That's why most veterinarians will recommend a combination of both wet and dry. The other thing you have to consider with dry food is that it's going to be much more compressed and calorie dense. So it's going to cause your pet to become overweight more so than feeding a wet food. You'll want to use our weight management tool regardless of what you decide to make sure that they are not getting too overweight, because that causes a lot of diseases. These are things to consider when you're thinking about a wet or dry food. You also want to think about handling. Simply put, some people just don't like to deal with wet food and having to leave wet cans of food in the fridge. If it's not wrapped well, it will lose some of its flavor, some of its smell as it gets oxidized. So just handling that can be a little bit more difficult for owners, and you may not want to go with it for that reason. You can find out more information about this on healthcareforpets.com.